is
Zaza. Oh, yeah.
Fitzy and
Sweet as.
Whipper.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome to the Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
Hey, mate. How are you?
You know what? A lot of people have reviewed this podcast over the years, and I think the two words that they've put together is dog and poo.
No.
And that's what we're kicking off the podcast with today, isn't it?
You've confused the feedback with the story that we're covering today.
What is the story?
Because the feedback's been utter crap.
Right, yes.
And the story is about a dog poo war that started in my neighbourhood.
That's right. Actually, we found out, and this is unbelievable. I think we're going to try to get this guy on the show tomorrow, but he's an ex-lawyer. Mm-hmm. And he said it is illegal to put your dog poo in the bag in somebody's public wheelie bin.
Wow.
So anyone, like, you know, if you're walking the streets, your dog does a poo, you're not allowed to put it in anyone's wheelie bin. If you get busted, you can get arrested.
A bin's a bin. I mean, I know you got fined for attempting to poo in a bin.
Well, that was hard.
Different, because that was your neighbour, Tracy's
Well, see,
bin.
this is, I think it's illegal for dog poo to go in there, but you're allowed to do one yourself, which is weird.
I'm going
Just whatever you do, don't get busted. That was so embarrassing.
It's very easy to fall into a wheelie bin too if you're trying to squat on top. A war that's broken out. It now involves a hammer and a very angry neighbour, and I'll tell you exactly what's happened on this podcast.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
Bit of an issue going on around my neighbourhood. I don't know if you guys have been hit by this sort of war. Dog poo. I mean, a current affair should tick this off every night. Oh. Shonk. Dog poo.
Tommy, I want to do one tomorrow.
What do you got?
Pelican pooed on my car.
You're kidding.
As I was driving.
How big's a pelican poo?
And it,
Massive.
Sarah.
It's like a water bomb full of crap.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
It covered the front windscreen. I put on the brakes. I nearly had a crash.
Mate, that's extra good luck.
It was crazy.
Because we learned this from Dr. Chris Brown, that birds wee and poo out of the one hole, so it all comes out together. That's why it's such a mess.
What pooed on your car would be a great talk topic.
Yeah, this time tomorrow,
What was his name? What was the name of the bird that pooed on your car? Oh, that is. You leave your mate Timmy Boston out of this. Anyway, so one very angry Aussie has cracked it, and he's decided to leave a note for his neighbours. He said, "Dog owners, please do not put dog poo in other residents' empty bins. It is very, inconsiderable, and who wants their bins smelling like dog?"
It is true. Your bin does stink, and if you put the poo in there just after bin collection day, the week later, same as having nappies.
Yeah.
But it's nothing you can do. Where do you want us to put it?
If you tie up the plastic bag properly, you don't smell it.
I mean, if
Minimal.
the bag was to break and then your bin has a stain on the inside, that's going to be there forever.
No.
I'm sorry, but I disagree with this.
What do you mean?
Every bin is public.
Yeah, I agree.
Really?
It's
It's
rubbish.
public property, and if you're walking your dog and they do a poo in your front yard, you do pick it up, and unfortunately we've got to use your bin.
At least you've picked it up, I suppose. The issue we had in my place, I've told you about this before, there's a guy at the street, and we always call it the grumpy house. Kids, let's go for a walk. Oh, we're heading past the grumpy house. This guy, he's gone as far as to pick up dog poo in a bag, and if it's someone else's dog, he'll nail it to a tree.
Oh,
so he nails it to a tree, the bag, so it's just hanging there with a note saying, "Did your dog leave this on my lawn?"
As if anyone's
So he's
gonna-
gone out of his way to pick up the poo, and then he's nailed it to the tree. So
angry.
you can see
It's
the
too
angry
much
man from the
effort.
angry house coming out just with his hammer, bent over. I'm sure he's about 600 years old, like some sort of Galapagos tortoise, and he's just nailing a bag of to the tree.
Unfortunately, when you do make everyone aware of it, I would get my dog to poo on his front yard.
You'd go out of your way, wouldn't you?
I would.
Hey, Bruce, load one up here. Load one up here.
But you know, it still astounds me that dogs... it's so crazy that we're obviously so shy when we have to go do that act, right? And we close the door and it has to be quiet and all this kind of stuff. But dogs can just sit there and look at you while they do it. I find it really weird.
Well, they're looking at you to protect them.
Why, in their moment of peace?
Because they can't, apparently, but I think we've asked Dr. Chris Brown about this, that when they're pooing, they look at you because they're vulnerable. So it's you're keeping an eye to check that you watch.
So, if they could talk, Sarah, do you reckon they'd be going, is there anyone coming? Hey, just keep an eye out, just give me a yell.
The dog down the street reads the paper. He's on the front lawn for about half an hour.
Do you know what? Travel
stress can take a hike.
With lots of fully refundable hotels, whatif.com has got you covered.
Just remember, booking cancellation windows apply.
So go and relax and book your next trip with confidence at whatif.com.
What if? It's Aussie for travel.
Hey, love to know if you've been left at the altar, or if you've been. I would. This sounds really sick. I'd love to be at a wedding where someone got left at the altar.
Yeah, so would I.
It'd just be this moment of disbelief, and then to see how it unfolds from such an unpredictable moment.
Just to see her get all the way down to the aisle and then just start legging it back in the wedding dress. Takes her shoes off, bare feet, arms high, high knee lift, Sarah. I've been watching the World Athletics Championships, been a couple of world records.
And then
in the women's 100-metre hurdles, and she's just hurdling over family members. Bang, bang.
What about a TV show, right? And it's called something like Bride or the Budget. There you go. Where just before the guys to go to the wedding, right, you pull him aside and say, hey, we've got this amount of cash. You can take it now and run, or you can go ahead and marry your bride today.
Most people,
But I love her!
but that's married at first sight.
I have $2 million for you. Now, will you still go ahead with the wedding today?
I love that you knew to ask the groom, not the bride, if you take money over a woman.
As a TV show says, you want the drama because the bride's gone to far more effort than the groom has on the day.
Well, how?
So therefore, they've dreamt of this day forever. Their, what do you call them, bridal party, the maid of honour, the dress, the makeup, the hair, the whole thing.
That is such a cliche.
What, you're suggesting that guys go to more effort than a bride on a wedding day?
The brides are so into all of that stuff. Not everyone is.
No.
You were on your first one.
No, I wasn't.
You looked beautiful.
No,
I didn't care.
Second one you gave up.
No, in both of them, you've said that so many times, it's so offensive.
All right, here we go. 13, 24, 10. Let's get into it. Love to know if you've been left at the altar. Did someone not turn up?
This is great.
The list of what's gone wrong here goes on and on and on. I mentioned this one beforehand. I left my boyfriend at the altar, and I didn't feel bad about it because, as it turns out, he was sleeping with my stepmother.
Gross.
My maid of honour spoke to me on the day of the wedding, and she said she loved me. We ran away together. I haven't seen the groom since.
Oh, what, they fell in love?
Yes, they fell in love.
Oh.
4 years ago, I left my bride at the altar. Now, 2 years later, I'm happily married and I have 2 wonderful kids with her cousin.
How strange for all of them.
Well done, GG, for submitting that one. So guilty. Sorry, that was just so basic.
It was obvious, but it was good. I panicked before my wedding day and left my fiancée at the altar and went on a vacation with one of my mates. I left her standing at the altar, but it wasn't my fault my tux didn't come back from the dry cleaner.
Oh.
Do you still have a party if you're a guest?
Nah. Oh, if you're a guest.
Because, I mean, everyone's sad, but there would be an element of... I would be like, well, God, let's not waste this, guys.
Yeah, a lot of food, a lot of drink.
It's all lined up, ready to go.
Yeah, we've got a function centre booked out.
Here's what I think a few blokes have had an issue with over time. I ran away on my wedding day because I wasn't ready to let go of the adventure of life, not because I didn't love her. Okay, so he obviously didn't get a lot prior to finding this girl. I left my fiancée at the altar last month. Didn't do anything wrong, but if you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it. I just hope you realise before it's too late.
See, it is, if you're going into a wedding not 100%, you know, once you commit, it's going to be harder to get out of that relationship. Yeah. Doing it at the last minute could be your only chance. And I know what, you got to cop it. We've all been in the dog box before, haven't we? Or am I right, guys?
You're not wrong, mate.
You know what I mean?
Bloody
For
hell.
a few days, you're a runaway bride or groom.
Yep.
But you know what? People will get over it. You just got to get out there while you can.
Told you about a mate of mine.
I did.
He had a wedding in Noosa, right, in Queensland, and he was up there. It was the weekend prior to, so he was flying up on the weekend. They were going to spend the week together there, and then the wedding was taking place 7 days later. He walked into the venue, had a look around, and just went, "This isn't for me." this is not what I want to do. And that was the moment where he saw it and he could picture what was going to take place and went, no, I'm not ready for this at all.
Oh, poor guy.
And it was that moment he went, I'm calling it off. Sorry, guys. Cancel the flowers.
Well, at least that was a week before.
That was a week before. Shut down the front. Forget about it.
You've still booked a function centre in Hastings.
You just want to party, don't you?
It cost a fortune.
You just want to be a guest without a bride and groom.
Give me a week in Noosa, please.
Just throw your own party, mate.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
So we're undefeated. And you know what? My mentality with junior sport, right, is my father, he coached me my whole junior career. And my dad coached, once he finished playing footy, he coached for like the next 20 years. Yep. Loved coaching. It was in his blood. It's never been in my blood. And I always said to myself, I thought that it affected our relationship so much that I saw my father as a coach more than I did as a dad.
You don't want to do that.
Right? So I said to myself, I'm never going to coach my boys. I don't want to do that. And you know what? Coaching's not in me, right? Mm-hmm. So I've, and it's hard with commitments here and stuff like that as well, that I can't commit to do it anyway because, I need nights off and stuff. But I help out. And the under-13s, I love it. I absolutely adore it. I love getting involved with footy and watching the boys play football, right? So Willow is our coach at the Canada Bay Cannons, and I help him out. Heather's another great assistant coach as well. Wally's there as well, and we just really love getting into it. So at the moment, we're undefeated. The boys are undefeated, right, and doing really well. We come up against the Macarthur Magpies, and they're a good team. There's some big boys in that side. So we're out at Gipps Road Oval on Sunday, right, in Greystones. And the boys don't get off to a good start. Macarthur are playing really well.
Okay.
Now, I just, you know what, this is what disappoints me, because it was a moment in my life where I realised I'm turning into my father.
Okay, you couldn't hold back, could you? What was the score at quarter time?
We were down by 4 goals at quarter time. Okay. Macarthur had a booming first half.
Decent lead in the under-13s.
So this is the deal, right? In the AFL, there was a lot of decisions, and one umpire was playing. As soon as our boys were picking up the ball, they'd go to kick and get tackled, and they'd drop the ball, and the umpire would pay holding the ball.
Yeah.
Right? But then it happened to us 3 times. We did it to the opposition, and he didn't pay any of them at all to the opposition.
Where
right?
was the ump from?
So I said, okay, understand, bit inconsistent. And then we're coming back a little bit in the last quarter, but we were too far behind. We were never going to win because Macarthur played so well. But, Sarah, I'm on the sideline, and one of our boys picks up the ball straight away. He goes to kick it, right? And the umpire straight away, he drops the ball. Umpire straight away goes holding the ball. Okay. I'm in his eye line, Sarah.
Oh, God.
I hold out my arms and I go, you didn't pay the ones before.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're that guy.
He then blows his whistle, says 50 metres.
Because of you.
I give away a 50-metre penalty, basically takes it all the way down into our opposition's forward line.
Are they allowed to do that?
Well, I don't know.
Great question.
I would have thought you'd get it. I've seen coaches and things when we were playing younger get ejected for that sort of reaction, sent from the ground.
What if you were just picking on the umpire, right? And you weren't actually from Huey's team.
Well, that's
the thing. You could have been for the opposition.
I gave away a 50-metre penalty because of my dissent.
That doesn't seem to happen when you watch sport on TV.
No.
That someone in the crowd shouts something, so you penalise the team.
Mike, how sensitive's this umpire?
Do you know the worst thing about it, right? Because Lenny, Huey's younger brother, is on the sideline playing with his mates. So then there's this awkward moment. I've given away the 50 metres, and Willow, the coach, goes, Fitzy, that was you. And I went, I said, no, was that? Did he give it away for me? And then it goes all quiet. There's this awkward moment, and Lenny goes, Daddy, what happened? What happened? Daddy, what happened?
Spell it out.
I said, Lenny.
Nothing.
No, I'm not going to explain it. No, what happened? Why is everybody looking at you? It was so awkward.
It was.
Then as I'm leaving the ground after the game, Macarthur get up. Great win. Their coach was magnificent, and I run into the umpire. And I said, did I give away that 50 metres? And he goes, yeah, you did. And I said, mate, I just wanted to ask about your consistency, because you know what, like there was,
you're not paying it, mate.
You gave that one, but there was a few others you didn't give away. And he goes, yeah, but this, it's hard because the sun's in my eyes and there's a big pack around and I can't really see it sometimes.
What? So I've never heard of that.
No.
I wonder if that's in the junior sport code. that they're allowed to do that as a way of controlling parents like, well, you.
Yeah.
I wonder, 13 24 10, if you've seen that before.
How did you let the junior sport team down? Eric's given us a call from Green Valley. Good morning, Eric.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What happened in the junior soccer match, Eric?
It was back when I was in primary. I got first time I've ever been on the field, and I scored an own goal.
Oh,
okay.
no.
How was the reaction for the rest of the team, Eric?
Got bitted off immediately.
Oh, not fair.
Did you usually start on the bench, Eric, and then come on later?
Yeah, pretty much. First time on the field ever, last time on the field ever.
Oh, was that the end of your career, was it, Eric?
Pretty much.
Oh,
He's hung him up. Will's in the gong. What happened to you with the ref in the under-10s, Will?
Yeah, g'day guys. They couldn't find a ref for my son's under-10 team, and they were going to call the game off. So I said, look, I've never refed. I'll put my hand up and I'll ref for you. I'll be just as bad for both teams.
Yeah.
And I thought I did a really good job. We got to half-time. This guy hobbles over to me with a moon boot, like when you've broken your leg.
Yeah.
And he goes, you all right, mate? I'll take over the second half. He figured with a moon boot on, not being able to keep up with play, he's got to be better than I was in the first half.
Wow, that's how bad you were,
Wow.
Will. That's saying something. First and last, Will?
Yeah, first and last. I wasn't asked to ref again. Funny that.
That is a kick in the teeth. It's really hard, Will, to give your team tries and frees, though. That's the thing. It's really hard to look after your own players. Jason in Engadine, what happened when your son was reffing junior soccer?
Yeah, hi, how you going?
Good, mate.
Jace.
My son's a ref for junior soccer. He was reffing a game. One of the coaches didn't like a few of his decisions. The coach basically had a go at my son. The entire oval heard everything.
Oh, no.
4-week ban for dissent.
Wow.
he
Not
from
like
the other
my son's
coach?
ref. Exactly, yeah.
So, did it affect your son, mate? Was he really upset out on the ground?
Well, he wasn't. So he's 17, but luckily there was an official from the Reffing Association who was there,
Great.
who just happened to be there watching the game, and he saw everything that happened. They pulled this ref up, so they pulled the coach up, and they basically said, "Nut, you're gone for 4 weeks."
Wow. Yeah, see, that's
You've got to do that.
It is good.
Got to do that.
It sets precedent, doesn't it? Vicky in Croydon, what happened to your dad at the school cricket match?
It was my dad, and he kept heckling the umpire. I don't think the official umpire turned up, so the coach
Was the fill-in?
appointed himself umpire. And so Dad kept circling the oval, and whenever there was a no ball, he'd put his arm out, or if there was a 4 and it wasn't called, he'd put his arm out. He kept going, "No way!" and all this sort of heckling, so much so that he was called into the centre of the pitch, and the coach dressed him down. This is not the way to, set an example for these young, impressionable minds, la la la. And Dad just kept on going, so much so that he was evicted from the field.
Oh, it's you know what, Mike, because my old man had the reputation. He was known as the mouth of the South, and he would call out certain umpires. Like I remember one umpire, Bobby Burton. He made that guy's life hell. Like, even after the game, Sarah, and Bobby Burton just had a shower and he just wants to go to his car and go home.
Still going on.
Dad would
It's me.
still be heckling.
Oh, no.
Yeah, get in your car, mate.
Eh.
Look at it. It's worth $2,000. It's a box. Like, Dad, just leave him alone. He's just a normal guy.
I just want to go home. It's Saturday morning. What's wrong, Mick?
Tom in Coogee, what happened in your junior cricket game?
Tommy. No, let's go to Frankie in Bondi.
I think Tom might be there now. Let's try Tom again.
Tom, you there?
No. Mate, there's nothing more frustrating than being on the sideline and you want something different to happen on the field. Like, even if your kid isn't performing, you don't want to be that parent. And I try so hard not to be that parent. And I said to Ted the other day, Ted at Auskick loves to skip. And I said, in the under-7s, he skips.
While the game's on.
Oh, yeah, he'll skip after the ball. And I said, Ted, have you noticed, I didn't know how to word it, I said, have you noticed in the AFL, the players don't skip to get the ball, they run to get the ball because running is faster than skipping.
Skipping looks good, though, mate.
Looks good, yeah. And if you could stop doing handstands as well, I reckon that'll help.
Is Tom from Coogee there? You there, Tommy?
Yes, I'm here. How are you?
Yeah, good. What happened in the cricket game?
So it was like the match of all matches to get into the semi-final in the under-16s cricket. And then I come in batting number last. And to get through, we need a draw or a win. I come in with 2 balls to go, and we need 14 runs to win. So it's impossible.
Yep.
The first ball I leave. Next ball, everyone's telling me to block it or leave it. Next ball, I try and hit a 6. and they get clean bowled, and we don't make it through to the semi-final.
Oh, no, Tommy, you stuffed it for everyone.
Tommy.
Can I...
For everyone.
This is my cricket career wasn't that good, right? And I'm telling you, because people asked, did you ever make a ton? All I ever wanted to do was make a ton.
Yeah.
Now, it was the C grade for Port Noarlunga at a ground called Seaford, and it was so tiny.
What'd you get to?
I got to 90. I'm on 99, but I didn't know I was on 99. This is an unbelievable story. My dad, I didn't know I'm on 99. So Dad walks around behind the bowler, right? Jesus. And the bowler's about to come in to bowl to me, and Dad's behind him with his one finger up going, you need one more. And I couldn't understand what he was saying. Bowler comes in to bowl. I'm looking at Dad. I nick the ball to the keeper. I get out. I go in, I'm dejected, I'm shattered. I only made 99, didn't get to a ton. We go back to the club that night for Prezzo's, have a couple of beers, and I added it up, and it was 103. There was a 4 in there that they didn't add. But because the game was done, some dumbass didn't count it properly, and I made a ton.
Your dad wasn't on the scoreboard that day as well, was he?
Oh, my gosh.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
I love Shark Tank. I really, really do. Actually, do you remember when we went on Shark Tank?
I love Shark
Tank. With the Mupp?
Oh, the Mupp, yeah.
It's a coffee cup with a mint in it. I mean, that was part of our pitch. Any other songs that we had there, Macca? What do you got?
Well, hang on.
Come in a coffee cup, mop it like it's hot.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Mop it like it's hot.
Yeah.
Oh, The Only Way is Mupp?
Yeah, very
That
popular.
was a good one.
Yeah.
I like big mops.
Love big mops. I mean, it turned the coffee industry on its head.
No, it didn't.
To think that there would be a coffee cup with underneath a little sealed section that you could peel back, and a mint would be there for a solution to your coffee breath.
Now, it's very, it's very nerve-wracking to go on that show with your idea, and you're standing in in front of some very successful business people.
Shark-infested water.
Right, and when we had, you can even hear how nervous Whipper was when we were pitching them up.
We believe that we've found an easy, cost-effective and lucrative solution to a problem that's affecting nearly half of all Australians.
Just under half, guys, 46%.
Death breath.
Basically, the pitch is a cup, a mint, a cup, a mup.
A mup.
Let's get rich together. Am I right?
How is that not on a T-shirt?
Well,
a mint, a cup, a mint, a mup.
We got offered $200,000, but we knocked it back because we were waiting for offers from Google and Apple.
Still waiting.
Could be an email today says you never know. I'll check the inbox now.
Do you know what? I'm interested in this because an article's come out talking about some of the investments from the Sharks.
Okay.
And now Mark Cuban is not on the Australian Shark Tank. He's on the American one. He is worth $6.8 billion.
Oh, my God.
Sarah's just told me he created software and now he owns the Dallas Mavericks. Sarah, is that right?
Yeah. Years and years ago, he created some software for businesses.
Right.
He's got his own tequila brand as well that I think he sold for $1 billion as well. The guy knows how to make money.
Sure.
So he's been on the American one for a while. How's this? He's invested, and I mean, this is small change to him, but he's invested $28 million in 85 startups on the popular television show.
Wow.
He's made zilch.
You kidding?
Nada. He's made no money at all.
From all of them?
From all of them.
Not one of them's run?
Not one of them at all. But you know what? He probably should help them out a little bit more because he went on a podcast recently and he was talking about one where he invested $1 million. He can't even remember the name of the company, but here's the story.
There was this company but you would blow into it and it did alcohol detection. And it was a great idea and actually a decent product. But like the guy, I look at his Instagram and he'd be in Bora Bora. And I look at his Instagram 2 weeks later, and he'd be in Vegas partying, then he'd be on Nectar Island with Richard Branson. And I text him, like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be working. Oh, no, I'm networking. Next thing you know, all the money's gone.
Networking.
So they go on... do you know what? I think there is an element of fame that they want to get, that people know that they are billionaires, but they're not making any money at all.
Normally the Sharks, like you talk about Janine Ellis, right? Yeah. Who's been on Boost Juice. Yeah. She's Boost Juice, and now she's Betty's Burgers, right?
And she's on Celebrity Apprentice.
Celebrity Apprentice, great success story, great Aussie story. But she would take on a business that she thought she could contribute to. Yeah. So it wasn't just throwing $1 million into something and hope for the best. See you guys.
Yeah.
She would say strategically, I can be the perfect partner here because I can put you into all the Boost Juice outlets and maybe a burger chain along the way. Instead of just hoping, because I think people with money like that, they just get out their scattergun and just shoot at as many startups as possible.
I don't think $28 million to him means anything.
No, it doesn't mean anything. That's down the side of the couch kind of stuff.
Is there, Tommy, just quickly look up just to see what has been the most successful Shark Tank contestant.
Do you know which one was really good was Tough Mudder.
Yeah.
That was in the UK. And the guy came on and he spoke about Tough Mudder and what he wanted to do, this extreme course over 20 kilometres. It becomes corporate, it becomes charity, and people come out and take on this really SAS-style course, this really tough course. And they went, no one is going to do that. Absolutely no one will do that. Thanks very much for your time. And it became an international success. It's all over the world, Tough Mudder.
Macca, you know one?
There's one called Scrub Daddy.
Oh,
they made millions off that. It's just like something you just use in the sink. That's basically
right.
it.
Scrub cleaning product.
And that was off Shark Tank?
That was off Shark Tank, yeah.
Another one in Australia here was some sort of peg.
Yeah.
Remember there was the black peg that was meant to look after your silky dress when it was on the line or something like that?
It was mixed with something else.
The
It
best
was called
peg.
a heg or something.
Yeah, it was a heg. You did right.
But what was the H? What
Was
did
it
the
a
H
body?
stand for?
Tommy, look up the heg.
Yeah, the
Hegs, you're right.
The amazing new Hegs, pegs,
What
they were called, and so then what they do is they leave less crease marks on your clothes.
It's pegs with hooks.
Yeah,
Pegs with hooks.
Yeah.
Yes, if you didn't want to leave the pinch mark, you could just attach it to the hooks on the side.
So no, you use the peg, and on the side of the
my
peg,
God.
you could attach something else. Well done, Heg. Suck on that, Cuban.
Shut up and take my money.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
Lights, camera, hilarity.
Ooh, Sarah.
The top trending stories in entertainment this morning. Justin Timberlake has been called rude and a diva. Now, this is by one of the stars of The Hills, Audrina Partridge. She released a book recently where she reflected on and think about when The Hills was massive. It really was. It was the first reality show. I know you were a huge fan, Fitz.
I've been waiting for this book.
It was, I mean, that part, sure. I don't know that it'll be a bestseller, but having a crack at Justin Timberlake is an interesting way to sell your books. Anyway, she has said that he was rude to them. They were presenting at the 2007 MTV Awards. She was up there with Lauren Conrad and Whitney Port, who were two of the other biggest names in the show. The three of them, big fans of Justin Timberlake, go to present this award. He's the one that wins it. He comes up on stage and says this.
Thank you for this award, MTV. And like I said, play more damn videos. We don't want to see The Simpsons on reality television. Play more videos.
Yeah. So pretty much he didn't acknowledge the girls when he got the award, and then he said to MTV, stop playing reality shows.
Don't play The Simpsons I can understand, but I can understand reality as well. I mean, who would go on reality?
I mean, they should have then said it's scripted reality. Because it was never reality TV.
I mean, at that point, though, they weren't telling us that, were they? We all thought that was so real.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I mean, she's been holding on to that for 15 years. That's massive.
Let it out.
And it suddenly came to her when they gave her a book deal that I was really offended in that
might
moment.
be a good idea for Fitz you to do a reading of the book each day on the show so we don't miss a minute.
Maybe I'm writing my own. My life on reality TV.
My Love of Audrina, Chapter 6.
Revealed.
Guys, Gwyneth Paltrow has said she's got no regrets whatsoever over quitting acting. I didn't realise this was sort of the catalyst for it, though, was when she won the Oscar and the amount of backlash in 1999 around that. Remember, it was for Shakespeare in Love, and a lot of people were critical of it. Glenn Close, she was one of the people who was most outspoken, saying this doesn't make sense why she would deserve this award, which is just horrible.
Yeah, ease up.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, she said post that moment, despite the fact her career was absolutely roaring, she just said, no, I'm going to go start Goop. I've had enough.
You know, you go from people kind of being curious about you or discovering you or rooting for you to it all being upended and people really wanting to tear you down and take great pleasure in it, which ends up being a really beautiful lesson in knowing who you are, loving the people you love, being totally in integrity, and shock everybody else.
Well said.
Yeah, right, okay.
Good on her. It does, yeah, it feels a dramatic shift, though, to give up such a huge career, but she doesn't regret it at all. Finally, yesterday we had some good audio of Victoria Beckham doing karaoke in France on holiday, and she was singing a Spice Girls song. Someone else who's had another boozy night put up a video overnight, Ed Sheeran. When he does karaoke, though, at a restaurant in Belgium, he doesn't sing his own song, and it turns out you can't actually get Ed off the mic. So he uploaded this video.
Awesome.
It's they're sort of quick clips, but this is how many different songs he did.
No way.
Stand corrected, he did do his own song.
What a boozy sing-along.
Oh, you should see the pictures.
I mean, that would have been pressure from the crowd to play one of his own songs, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but you don't get up and sing it.
The Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
$500 to spend at Woolies. Let's do it.
2 people enter. Only one leaves.
Let's turn up the heat. And we're on.
60 seconds. On the clock. It's time to play Last Man Standing.
And let's get the party started.
Get your hands on Fix'ems. Only at Woolworths. Featuring Disney, Pixar, Marvel and Star Wars characters. Swap them, stick them, reuse them.
I tell you what, $500 cash at Woolies, you could buy 1,000 avocados at the moment, couldn't you?
You could, yeah.
Isn't it amazing that inflation's so high at the moment, and yet avocados are staying so low?
Mate, swings and roundabouts on your fruit. Price of blueberries, once again. They were $12 at the corner store the other day.
Elma's playing from Camden. Hi, Elma.
Morning. How are you, boys?
My
Good,
mum used to
Elma.
have an auntie, Elma. It's an old name.
It is an old name. It's a cool name.
So, Elma, you play Last Man Standing in the car every morning. How do you go when you're playing in the car?
Oh, sometimes pretty bad, but sometimes I do get them. But me and my kids played in the morning when I'm dropping them off to school, so I'm willing to give it a crack.
All right, today's your big moment. Good luck.
I hope so.
You're up against Louisa in Ryde. You're training for City to Surf at the moment, Louisa.
That's right.
Ever run 14Ks before, Louisa?
I struggle to run 1K,
Okay.
but we'll be fine.
Oh, good girl. At least you're having a crack, Louisa. I like that. Elma, you're going first. If you get one wrong, power goes over to Louisa, whoever has the power. At the end of 60 seconds, $500 cash to spend at Woolworths. Here we go, Elma. Your 60 seconds starts now. Finish this famous movie line. I feel the need for...
Speed.
Oh, yes, correct. According to its tagline, where is the happiest place on earth?
Pass.
It's Disneyland. Over to Louisa. Louisa, which type of nut is used to flavour Nutella?
Hazelnut.
That is correct. How many Oscars has Meryl Streep been nominated for?
Oh, no idea. 23?
Oh, you're close. 21. Back to Elma. Elma, which sport has a pommel horse?
Oh, jousting?
No, it's gymnastics. Back to Louisa. Louisa, which Australian singer sang the song The Locomotion?
Kylie.
Yes,
Kylie
correct.
Minogue.
What year was Google founded, Louisa?
1998.
Oh, yes, you got it. Which iconic Australian soapy finishes this week, Louisa?
Neighbours.
Yes. How many keys are on a modern...
Oh, Louisa, you've got it.
Oh, wow.
Did you...
Well done, Louisa.
Louisa, you just had a crack at Google, didn't you?
I just threw that out there.
I was going to say you didn't have time to Google the answer about Google.
No.
That is awesome, Louise. You got the $500 to spend at Woolworths.
That's so great.
And Elma, thanks for playing.
Thank you.
You're listening to the Fitzy and Whipper podcast.
Ed Sheeran sent us a gift, and we've got a couple of ideas. Here's the story so far. There is a large box in the room.
This is the delivery notice.
Collect from Ed Sheeran.
It is a giant penis.
David Williams, welcome. It's nice of Ed Sheeran to send them.
Do you want to feel the weight in it?
No, not especially. I was talking about children's books a second ago. Now I'm being asked to handle a giant penis, but there you go.
Hey, senior Shervo, Matt Shervington.
Oh my God, it's so heavy. It's so heavy.
I can't pick it up.
That's a lot to wrestle.
It's huge.
Thank you, Ed. Well done.
Thanks, Ed.
Unbelievable. I mean, that was such a surprise. To think that 2 boxes over 7 months at sea arrived here when we opened them and we saw the green and gold colours of these giant marble penises. What a gift.
I mean, what a heart from Ed Sheeran. I mean, he didn't have to do that. Let's be honest, he probably didn't. He had someone in his team do it. But
hand-painted by Ed Sheeran.
He did paint them. So he said, get them ready and I'll paint them and send them off to the boys.
2 beautiful members.
But so we just think that it's a waste having them here at Nova.
They need to be showcased. And we've been throwing it out there to say, hey, what are your suggestions? What do you need it for? Someone said we could put it on either side of the Anzac Bridge. Maybe we send them along to the Commonwealth Games. Do they have a mascot? I mean, they are painted green and gold. Should we install one at Richard Wilkins' house as a water feature?
Not bad. One on each
not crazy. Here's what I'm thinking. One at each pool. Here's what I'm thinking. We need to throw it around here. 5th of August. It's a Friday. What if we said to Sydney, if you want one of these private members to turn up at your event, we'll bring it to you. So from, say, we'll make it a mission. We could go midday to midnight, work out how many events we could get, and go along to as many as possible, showcasing Ed's private member.
We've got to get it out there. We need to show Ed that the people of Sydney have fallen in love with his present.
Could you imagine if it was a wedding and you got everybody together and they said, we have one final surprise for the bride and groom, and then we come through the door. And you know what? We went to 1-800 for promo. Mate, it's going to be presented in a beautiful box with some smoke coming from underneath it. The photo opportunities are beautiful.
They're amazing.
It'll be magic. So whatever the event, might be a hen's party. Could be anything. Could be a store opening. Could be a celebration of some type.
Yep.
What do you need Ed's private member for?
Could be someone that who's doing a great job at work and, like we said, are the team member of the week.
Yeah. You know what else we're working on too? Trying to secure some tickets, Tommy, to Ed Sheeran.
Well, we're working on that.
Yeah. So what do we want to do? That if you register with an idea, we turn up. Not only do you get the photo opportunity and you get to see Ed's beautiful art, right? You also get tickets into Ed's private member box.
Yeah, we're working on that.
I know, Tom. We haven't got that locked away yet. Tommy, that's a work in progress. At this stage, we just need to know, what do you need Ed's private member for? Very simple. They'd look beautiful next to a fireplace as well.
I agree. Or, the gates to your driveway, anywhere. I mean, if you've got any ideas.
I mean, if you have a gallery opening, maybe it's an art gallery, right? And you need an extra piece of art. We're not afraid to turn up. We'll have a champagne and discuss the fine detail of Ed's painting and possibly the shape and detail.
Go to Fitzy and Whipper's Instagram account and you can DM us there if you've got anything on August 5th, Friday, August 5th, and we can come along to your business, to your event, to your wedding, anything like that. Just tell us and we'd love to see you.
The Fitzy and Whipper Show is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.